What if I told you there's something waiting for you in the dark? Something that watches your every move, hidden in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal itself. You think you're alone, but what if you're not? What if, one night, you look up and see a smile that shouldn't exist, and you realize it's not just a smile, it's a warning, a signal that you're being followed, hunted by something far worse than a person. This is exactly what happened to a Reddit user named blue_title, who posted their terrifying experience on November 19th, 2013. Since then, their story has haunted the internet, sparking fear and fascination. This is where Blue Title's story begins, told in their own shoes. I like to take late-night walks. There was something oddly peaceful about the world after midnight, when the streets are empty and the city seems to belong to just you. The quiet is perfect for letting your mind wander. It's almost like the world is holding its breath. The streets were usually completely empty, save for the occasional car passing by, its headlights briefly illuminating the silence before fading into the distance. That night was no different at first. The air was colder than usual, even for that time of year. You know that chill that cuts right through you, that gets into your bones? I felt that immediately, but I shrugged it off, pulling my jacket tighter as I kept walking down the familiar route to my apartment. The world felt quiet, almost too quiet. And then I saw him. At first I thought he was just another late-night wanderer, someone else who couldn't sleep. He was standing across the street, just a little out of the reach of the streetlight. But then I noticed something strange. He wasn't moving. Now, in the dead of night, most people you see out walking are either on the move or have some kind of purpose. But this guy, he was just standing there, staring ahead into the empty street. And that was the first thing that felt off. It wasn't that he was standing still. It was how still he was. He didn't even seem to blink, didn't sway or fidget at all. His body was rigid, like he was frozen in time. I couldn't take my eyes off him. And then I saw it, the smile. It was a grin, stretching so wide that it looked almost painful. Not a natural, friendly smile. It was exaggerated, far too big for any normal person. It almost looked like a caricature, a mask of happiness that didn't fit the person wearing it. And his eyes, they weren't focused on me. It felt like they were focused on something behind me, something far more important than whatever I was. I didn't know what to think. I tried to convince myself it was nothing. Maybe he was just some guy out for a walk. Maybe he was lost in thought, or maybe he was waiting for someone. But my feet were already moving faster, pulling me away from him without even thinking. I looked back, but he was still standing there, and he hadn't moved an inch. I picked up my pace, my mind racing. I told myself I was being paranoid, but I couldn't shake the feeling. Something was off. The street was empty, the cold air biting at my skin, but it felt like there was something lurking just beyond my sight. Then I heard it. Footsteps. At first I thought they were my own, echoing against the concrete. But no, they were too slow, too measured. I quickened my pace, telling myself it was just in my head. But the footsteps matched mine. Every time I took a step, they mirrored it, perfectly. I dared not turn around. I didn't want to know what was behind me, but I knew he was there. I could feel it in my gut. I tried to calm myself. It's nothing, I thought. It's just a coincidence. It's late, I'm tired. It's nothing. But then I heard the footsteps again, closer this time. Every time I sped up, they did too. And it was then that I realized he was following me. The smile hadn't left his face. It seemed to widen with every step he took toward me. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest as my legs started to feel heavy, like I was carrying the weight of the entire night on them. My mind raced, but I couldn't think straight. I didn't want to think straight. I just wanted to get to safety. My apartment wasn't far off, just a few more blocks. But with each step, it felt like the distance was getting longer. The footsteps behind me didn't stop. They got louder, closer. I started to jog, my breath coming faster, my pulse quickening with every footfall that echoed through the dark streets. And then he did something that sent chills down my spine. He started matching my pace, not just walking, but matching my stride exactly. I could hear his footsteps, and they weren't hurried. They were calm, too calculated. Each step was deliberate, as if he had all the time in the world, as if he were in control. And I wasn't. I didn't dare look behind me. I couldn't. I just kept running, trying to ignore the feeling of his presence creeping up behind me, getting closer with each passing second. When I finally reached my apartment building, I was out of breath, my hands shaking as I fumbled with my keys. I barely managed to unlock the door, slamming it shut behind me and locking it immediately. I didn't stop to think. I didn't even look outside. I just ran up to my apartment, collapsed on my couch, and sat there in silence. My heart was still racing, my mind a jumbled mess of confusion and fear. I didn't sleep that night, and I didn't sleep well for days after. Every time I closed my eyes, I could still see that smile, that terrifying wide grin, stretching and growing in my mind. I could still hear his footsteps following me, even when I was home, safe behind locked doors. So, what was it? Was it just a strange encounter with a man who had nothing better to do than walk around at 2 a.m.? Or was there something darker at play? Was this just a twisted individual? Or was it something more sinister? Some people suggest that the smiling man is a kind of supernatural entity, a creature who feeds off fear. Others say that the smile itself represents something darker, that when someone smiles like that, they're no longer entirely human. It could have been a prank, or maybe just a random person who was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what if it wasn't? The thing about fear is that it makes us question what we don't know. We're quick to rationalize things, to tell ourselves that there's a logical explanation, but deep down, we all know that some things don't have an explanation. Some things are just too weird, too wrong to make sense. I can't say for sure what happened that night. Maybe it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Maybe it was something else entirely. But I do know one thing. I'll never walk alone at night again without wondering if the smiling man is out there somewhere, waiting in the shadows. So, what do you think of this story? Do you believe it really happened? Or is it just another strange tale from the depths of the internet? Could the smiling man be real? Or was it just a figment of someone's imagination? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this creepy encounter. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because this channel is brand new, and there's much more terrifying content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there. You never know who or what might be lurking in the shadows.